This dismantling is happening fast. It's happening at a much faster clip than anything we've experienced before. It is evil, but it is efficient.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
Look, it's Monday, so I put my monkey hat on because we are in the middle of a three-ring circus, and it's absolutely ridiculous, and I want you all to pay attention, okay? I said if you all allowed this walking bag of trans fat back into office, several things would happen. Number one, he would isolate us from our allies. He has done so and continues to do so. Nobody wants to be associated with us, and right now, I can't blame them, okay? Number two, he will leave us open and vulnerable for attacks. And he is doing so how? By picking off the top leaders of our military. Meanwhile, Bone Spurs McGee ain't seen a day of action in his life. Why is the Navy Chief of Staff fired? Barely got any news coverage, as if this is normal. Everyone knows the military is nonpartisan, so why? The Deputy Director of the CIA gone. Why? Along with so many people that have been bullied and fired since this administration came in like they were Suge Knight at the Source Awards. The DIA director gone. The Commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard gone. These are being replaced with yes people, I believe, right? All the top legal officers, JAG in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force gone. Air Force Chief of Staff gone. Vice Chief of Staff of the Air Force gone. Head of the Navy Reserves gone. Do y'all understand? Like, this is really happening. Head of the Navy SEALs gone. Chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff gone. U.S. Cyber Command head gone. All of this is ridiculous, and all of this leaves us vulnerable. I hope you all are paying attention.
Well, we are. Rashonda Lee is
Love her.
she is hilarious. Also, very, very much standing on business. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. I think the chaos is the key here. It's the goal is to keep us off our square, which is why I want to double down on the things that we need to be concerned with. I'm going to play one more clip from Chris Christie, former governor of New Jersey. It seems now all of a sudden, because you have nothing to gain because there's no carrots being dangled. Not that you eat carrots anyway, but nothing being dangled in front of you. So now you're telling the truth. Why weren't you telling the truth all along? Maybe if more people told the truth all along, not just when it benefited them, perhaps we wouldn't be here, Chris Christie. You knew that this man was what he was. You knew. And you're also this person, too, because I remember you shutting down the damn George Washington Bridge over some tizzy you were having with the damn mayor of Fort Lee, New Jersey.
That.
You suck. You suck. You're a horrible person, but two things can be true. And I don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. I'm going to keep the baby very well fed. Chris Christie, play that clip, Smiz.
We know why this was done. It was done because Donald Trump told the Justice Department to prosecute Letitia James. And when the professionals there wouldn't do it, he put somebody in who would just follow his instruction, whose previous job was reviewing exhibits at the Smithsonian. So that's what we see going on here. And here's the difference between Trump 2 and Trump 1. And I'll say it more directly than Sarah did. This is no longer, the Department of Justice is no longer the premier prosecuting office in America. What it is now is a capo regime who goes out and executes hits when directed by the Don to do so. That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay. I just need us to be clear about what we're in right now. Okay, so I'm setting the table because he's dismantled the Department of Justice, he's dismantled Health and Human Services, he's dismantled any kind of education. You literally handed over to a wrestling lady who doesn't know the difference between A1 steak sauce and AI. Like y'all, the last one, Betsy DeVos, was a disaster. You just said, hold my beer. Let me get you somebody even dumber.
Let me see how bad it can really get.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the goal is to strip this country of democracy and everything so that we, the people, forget that we actually have the power, because we're so concerned about feeding our families and making sure that we have roofs over our heads that we don't even, and our neighbors being snatched up and people being snatched up and sent to other countries, that we're not even focused on what is happening. and how we can fight it every day. And how we fight it every day as a community, how we fight it every day is showing up for each other. The joy that we also experience. So I'm going to play one more clip that's a little funny. A comedian, his name is Nate Craig. He said this about this current climate. Play it.
I don't like the ICE shit. I don't like the fucking running up on taxpayers like this. I don't care about citizenship. This country was built by immigrants on stolen land. I don't know who these third-generation mall honkies are that are rolling up on motherfuckers. We're divided enough already. We're divided enough already. You know, the country's like a silent disco, you know? Half the country's listening to Beyonce and the other half is listening to Bone Spurs the Kid Fucker. Tell us why we should invade Chicago. And if that's what you voted for, save space. Save space. Save space. I don't want you to feel alienated here. If what you voted for was Bone Spurs the Kid Fucker to tell us that we should invade Chicago, safe space for you.
So I asked the question, Drew, because I know you've thought about this, especially as it relates to the workplace, right? So we were all taught, go to school, get a degree, get out, there'll be a job for you, you know, just do right, stay out of trouble. You know, we got 34-time convicted felon. So the lies are right there all around us, right? The nastiness, black women over-indexed on getting degrees and these government jobs, really disproportionately, black women of excellence. 300,000 plus gone from six-figure jobs where there's no six-figure job waiting for them on the other side. How do they replace that income? It's really nasty, and they did it on purpose, right? Because they know if they kick the teeth out of black women, they're going to kick the teeth out of the black community because we are foundational. We're foundational.
Absolutely.
We are the cornerstones.
Most educated, oftentimes the source of information, the carriers of information, the sharers of information. Black women tend to not gatekeep information. When they find out something works, they tell other people, particularly other black women, who tell their families and tell their friends. I will go back to Karen, the point about where I do think that some of this is about punishment. And I do think that the black women piece of this story absolutely feels like punishment, particularly as it relates to even the New York Times reporting on all of the black folks who've been fired from the federal government is insane when you sit down and read it. It's in the paper last week. It's insane the reporting that they've done of this mass firings of black folks in the New York Times reporting. But the other piece of it is like, what do you do? I feel like that from the job market, you pivot, you don't panic. I think you got to look at what's of what is out there right now. That maybe it's not the work that we want to do. A lot of us are doing work that we have the privilege of being able to do work that we want to do. A lot of us are going to have to do work that is needed to be done right now, and it may not be the exact same privilege and access and visibility and opportunity that you're used to, but pivot to get out of this moment so that get a job so that you can have your hands and your mind free from that panic so that you can prepare. Right? Prepare for the next day. Most jobs are vehicles and not destinations anyway. Right. And so I understand completely the sheer callousness of capitalism. We all should be aware of that. These jobs may come and they may go, but be in that space of being able to pivot, be in that space of being able to depend on community and to use community to find the work that needs to be done so that you can be in a space better for that next opportunity to be able to get back to the place where you're doing the work that you want to do. I think we just got to pivot and we got to move fast. This dismantling is happening fast. It's happening at a much faster clip than anything we've experienced before. It is evil, but it is efficient. And I think that what we've got to do is to stop waiting for that thing to happen before we act. We've got to stop waiting for that thing that comes a little closer to my doorstep before I start to talk to my neighbor about how we figure this out from a community standpoint. Before I start talking to my family member that gets on my nerves, they say, okay, how do we do this from a family standpoint? Before I start to talk to that person, at my job who, we don't always see eye to eye, but I trust their judgment and I trust their values to say, okay, you ain't my bestie, but let's figure this out, how we start to look out for each other. Because survival will also not be a solo endeavor. Survival is going to be a team sport on it.
Amen.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will